Hello, hello, hello. How are you? Hello, hello. How are you? We have great news to share. Happy Thanksgiving. By the way, it's almost the end of the year, right? It's going to be next week. It's actually December. It looks like it, right? Next week is going to be December, and I'll be live. By the way, I'll be live so you can ask your questions. December we'll do a lot of live sessions. At least we'll try to do our best to be there to take your questions. But happy Thanksgiving, by the way, again, right? But we have a great news to share. That's why I'm so all over the places. We have great news to share. Yajure Hurtado struck down. This is good. This is actually victory. This is actually a celebration, okay, in the community. You should have seen us on the chat room. This is victory, my friend. Victory. Why? Because Yajure Hurtado is over. Finito, struck down. The BIA came out with this decision. It was just so unfair. It was just like unheard of. So unfair. Affected a lot of people. Even people who've been living here for decades, like 20 years, 30 years. Can you imagine you've been living here for 30 years and then you get detained by us and you have no right to a bond hearing? That's how unfair this decision was, even though it has long been held that if a person, regardless of their status, even if they happen to enter without inspection, but the fact that they've been living here for too long, those type of individuals had a right to a bond hearing because they have family ties and stuff like that, not fly risk. But Yajure Hurtado with the BIA, they came out with a wrong decision. That decision was so flawed. I I knew at some point it was going to be struck down. Okay. Anyway, got struck down yesterday. The judge, Ninth Circuit. I love Ninth Circuit. They always have good decision in comparison to Texas, right? The Fifth Circuit or Sixth or Fifth. I don't even know what circuit Texas is in, but anyway, that's not the subject today. But Ninth Circuit, they came out with a great decision in the matter of Maldonado Bautista. Okay, they grant a nationwide class summary judgment. The court here is saying that a person who happened to enter the United States without inspection can be detained under 236A, which simply means that they do have a right to a bond hearing. Therefore, an immigration judge has to hear them. Once they request a bond hearing, they have to hear them, and then the immigration judge can determine whether or not that person can be released on bond, which makes sense. That's due process. That's even what Maldonado Bautista is saying that Yajure Hurtado violated due process of law. That individual has a right to a bond hearing. Okay. So, and this is great news. And as we're speaking here, a lot of individuals are setting their bond hearing because a lot of individuals they've been detained without the right to a bond hearing, and the detention centers are packed. So as we speak, I'm seeing it in the chat room here. A lot of individuals are requesting bond hearing. As a matter of fact, somebody just got released. I was like reading here, somebody got released immediately after this decision. Okay, that's how good the decision is for that class of individual that are that the class of individual that the people who were affected by Yajure Hurtado ruling. I mean, this is great news. But again, not to be confused with matter of Q Lee, which is totally different, which require detention because the person keep entering without inspection. That's just, it's different. Different from this new ruling. Okay, don't confuse the two. Uh, don't confuse the two because Q Lee had criminal record as well, right? Don't confuse the two. We're just talking about the simple fact that a person gets detained because of unlawful presence of a stay visa, and then they look in the system, the person enter without inspection. Now they're saying the person does not have the right to a bond hearing. That was wrong. The courts now are saying the person Of course, the person can be detained, but still they have a right to a bond hearing. The immigration judge has to hear them, and if they meet the eligibility requirement for bond hearing, then they can be released on bond, which means that you have to prove that you're not a fly risk and a danger to the community. Okay, and we have good ruling for fly risk. Even if you don't have family ties, if you have a sponsor, a well-established sponsor who can sign up paperwork for you, you can establish some ties, okay? And you can overcome that fly risk type of requirement or eligibility requirement. So this is good. Bond hearings. I made a lot of, at least 3 videos on bond hearing. I've won bond hearings and I'm preparing for one bond hearing. This is good. This is so good. Please like, please share. Again, happy Thanksgiving. We're going to come back in December with live sessions. I'm so excited. I'm all over the place. We're gonna come back in December with live sessions. Because we are going to answer your questions and we're going to do our best as usual. This is great news. Can you imagine how many people I have under my belt in TWI without inspections and they do check-in with ICE? Can you imagine if one of them was arrested? We were going to be all over the place trying to figure out how to release them. This is a good ruling. It's just gonna help a lot. It's just gonna help a lot because a lot of lawyers, they were just using the federal court. I guess those judges are just tired. They're like, you know what, let's just give them the right to a bond hearing so they can leave this federal court alone. They have their own immigration court. This is good, my friend. This is good. Okay, the people, we won. This is for the people. We won, we won, we won. This is what the judge is saying. When considered this determination with the MSJ order, the court extends the same declaratory relief granted to petitioner to the bond eligible class of as a whole. Okay, and then all non-citizens in the United States without lawful status who have entered or will enter the United States without inspection were not or will not be apprehended upon arrival and are not or will not be subject to detention under 8 U.S. Code 1226C, 1225B1, or 1231 at the time of the department makes an initial custody determination. You already entered the United States. You were not apprehended at the border. Now you're inside of the United States, been living here for too long. Now they want to tell you don't have the right to a bond here. That was too wrong. It was so wrong that it had to be overturned. Okay, Mother of Yajure, it's over. We just have to forget about it. Now we have Maldonado, the new hero here. Maldonado Bautista. The people. My friend, when we talk about you fight until the end. You do not give up in the middle. It's not over until it's over, until you go all the way to federal court. And in limited circumstances, you go all the way to the Supreme Court. That's when you say it's over. I've done my best. Schedule a consultation if you need one. We're here to help. Until next time, bye-bye.